So welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you're here to subscribe, kindly do so you get updated whenever I post a valuable content like this. Alright, so I'll be completing my series. Oh my goodness, I've not completed the series and I apologize because there's no excuse for it. So on the series of shaping the next generation, the first topic I treated, the first series was you marrying right, and the second series I spoke about parental duties. The third series I spoke about societal duties. And if you're yet to watch this series, kindly watch it because you're going to get a lot of value there. And the last series happens to be educational duties. Oh my goodness, the kind of corruption that goes on in the educational sector is something that we need to emphasize on because it's getting out of control. We are building students to become mentally lazy, and that is why exam is coming there on TikTok, exam is coming there on social media. No, nobody's ready to wait. Of course, they'll be wrong. So I remember all the schools I've taught, kudos to every school I've taught. If you're watching this video, this is me sending a hug to you because I am super proud of you and I want you to keep it up. Yeah, so all my bosses, to those private sectors owners who has emphasized and built the school in integrity, that has made their school not to run, that made us not to believe in exam and practice. I am super proud of you and kudos. So yeah, my point is this, there was a school I taught, like I said, all the schools I've taught, none of them emphasize on exam and practice. No, none of them believe in exam and practice. Either external exam or internal exam, they don't do it. So there was a school I taught here in Badagry, and we were doing meeting one day, teachers meeting concerning the up and coming WAEC that then, and the principal was seriously complaining about a student who, I forgot what they said he or she did, or I've really forgotten, but I remember they were like, okay, yes, a student who could not, because the school did not run, refused to collect runs, and they never believed in the exam and practice. Many students who left to other schools to write exam, and unfortunately one of them still failed, and the woman was seriously complaining, and I stood up and I made my contribution in the middle of the meeting. I said something that if all schools can be like that school, I wanted to mention the name. I would have loved to appreciate the school the more. And if all schools happens to be like that school, that was my point of view during the meeting. If all schools happens to be like the school that they don't believe in exam and practice, I think the next generation will be shaped to some extent. They were going to reset the brain of the next generation. They're going to reset the brain of the students. Yeah, because if they know that, oh, the school I'm into, they are not collecting exam and practice, and even if I go to another school, they will not collect exam and practice. Even if I go to another school, they will not collect either private or public sector. They won't collect exam and practice. I'm very sure you have given them work to do. And if parent, now bringing in parent, if parent is going to stand their ground, that of course you're going to read, because I read where I was like you, where I was little like you, where I was in school like you. There was nothing like exam and practice. So definitely I'm not going to pay for my child when it comes to exam and practice. I want them to exercise their brain, and that's why we have a lot of students who are mentally lazy because they are not ready to sit with their books. They prefer being on TikTok, watching TikTok on social media, because they are failed to do their homework. The society have built them to the extent that they don't want to capitalize on exercising their brain because they believe that there is help somewhere, there is connection somewhere. So what are we building? What kind of sector are we building? Educational sector, this is a question we need to ask, because I'm a teacher and I know what happens there. So this is what I said in the meeting, that if all those schools can be like this school, oh, you're leaving this school because you don't want to stay back to write, because you know that they are not collecting exam and practice. If all schools can be like that, I'm very sure we will not have lazy mental students flooding around the community. Exam, you see students, exam is coming tomorrow, no, they are playing because they know there's help somewhere. Even if I know where they go past now, how far? It's not like that. So can we come back to that sector, educational academic sector, whereby you are building students, you are building the leaders of tomorrow who can write, who can speak without. You see students who say, I studied this particular thing, but there is nothing to write them about what they study. without the certificate. Some people are coming, they cannot even defend the certificate. What kind of generation, what kind of community are we building? What kind of students, what kind of leaders are we building for tomorrow? Then we say we are building the leaders in schools, we are building leaders of tomorrow, but they are not, it's no longer, we are not longer living on that particular phase. We are no longer living on that particular phase. So all schools owner, if you're going to watch this video, this is a challenge to you. That because if you stand and say my school, we are not going to have external and internal exam and practice, I'm very sure you are building your students in avoiding mental laziness. You are building to be able to defend their certificate. Many people who have certificate cannot even stand to defend what they have. Why? So I've spoken about exam and practice. The second thing I'm going to be speaking about, I remember working in a school that, so I said I'm a teacher, so whatever thing I'm sitting here talking about, I'm talking from the experience of a teacher. I remember working in a school that I spent just a term there because I came in to stand for someone who was about to put to bed. So I remember working in the school, also in Badagry, and the owner of the school, like I said, every schools I work, I'm proud of them. And the owner of the school don't allow corrupt music. Because if you leave my school, fine, you can go outside and do it. But in as much, whenever they're having parties, celebration, and all of that, you will strictly tell the TJ, this is the kind of song you will play. Of course, there are secular songs that are allowed, but secular songs that has moral in depth. In as much as allowed gospel songs, there are secular songs they allow that have moral in depth. I believe you understand what I meant by that. So if we start having schools who don't allow, who have strictly rules and regulations. I watched a video by an influencer posted a video where, I think those if I'm to calculate the age bracket of those children who were dancing, the kind of music they were dancing to, I think they were just 10, 12, 15, 20 years old, right? No, they were not up to 20, they were just little children in primary section. They were dancing to, twerking. Come on, in a particular school for that matter. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm shouting. Let me calm down. It's not supposed to be done. If those people happen to be your children, how will you feel about that? And that is why we have them around. We have in fact, when I watched the video, I was like, wow. So to all school owners, that private or public sector, these are things that we need to look into. What kind of song are you playing for your children during activities, during programs, during celebration? Are you building them are you preparing them for the future, for a better future? What is the standard of your school? What are you preventing and what are you not preventing in your classroom building, in your building, your class, anywhere you find yourself? What are the things you are doing? So this is a challenge to every school owners. So if every school will be like that school that they don't allow corrupt music, that you are coming for party, there are ways you will dress. You can go to your parents' house, so you can see that parents, society, educational sector have a lot of work to do individually, in group, publicly, privately, in the shaping of our next generation. When you see some people, they will hide clothes in their bag. I've seen it before. When your parents will tell them, you are not going to school with that clothes. And when they are leaving, they'll wear a particular clothes and they'll put another clothes in their bag. When they get to school, they will change it. Why is it happening? Because they know the school we allow them. You see, there are things there are things that needed to be done. So to all school owners, these are things we need to look into. These are things that needed to be prevented. So I hope I'll be able to convince you that this happens to be the last series, and I'll be able to convince you that everyone, if we want to have a better generation, they want to shape the next generation, then it's our duty. It's our duty to know how we can set a standard and live by it. I've spoken to the musician the last time I spoke about society's duties, the kind of music they put out there. It is something that is good to the mind of the generation coming after us to consume. And this is something they can consume. The movies we are putting out there. Because some people, when they finish watching this movie, I'm a teacher and I've listened to them, I've watched them, they come to the class to speak about, and while they are speaking, they are corrupting another person that doesn't even watch, that they don't emphasize on such content. They'll come to the class and talk about the content they have consumed, the kind of movies they have watched. They want to practicalize it. That is why you see a student who cannot read a full chapter of a book, memorize a full chapter of a book, but can memorize the lyrics of a particular song from the beginning to the end. And when they are singing, we're like, wow. But this is someone who cannot read and write in class. How come you can memorize a full 3 chapter of lyrics or 2 chapter of lyrics? Why? How? So the children of our generation doesn't lie only by the parents. It's an individual race that we need to, there's individual duty we need to implement. Educational sector, be it educational sector, be it parental duties, be it societal duties. These are things, these are the values that we need to instill to the life of the next generation. And because I'm saying because it's not too late for we to start now. It's actually not too late. So what standard are you building as a school owner? As a principal, because if I say school owner now, I'm also talking about, I also want to emphasize on public sectors. As a principal, as a school owner, what kind of standard are you building? I would like to stop here. So if you are here to subscribe, if you are here to like, if you are here to share, kindly do so, send so right, and drop your view about this content in the comment section. Thank you so much, and if you're here to follow the series, please check my YouTube channel. You see the series 1, series 2, series 3, and this happens to be the last series. And I apologize deeply from the abundance of my heart. I want to say thank you so much, and thanks for your patience for waiting so long before I drop the series. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe. I love you. God bless you.